In this video, we will discuss about Wildlife Protection Amendment Act. In 2022, an amendment was brought, and that has changed so many things in Wildlife Protection Act, and that is why it has become important for the examination. So, what is Wildlife Protection Act? It is a significant act which wants to conserve our environment, which wants to establish a framework for wildlife conservation, which wants to also secure certain species which are reducing in number, who are threatened, classifying them in schedule, and according to the schedule, there should be different set of mechanism to protect them. It also talks about establishing certain bodies. It also talks about establishing conservation, different kinds of conservation efforts. All of these are given, as well as it talks about the penalties, the offenses if you are not ensuring the law in letter and spirit. Whoever is trying to breach the law, there is offense. There are certain provisions for that to act as deterrence. Now, what is Amendment Act 2022? So, it wanted to strengthen the country's commitment to protect its diverse and precious fauna. Now, let's look. So, it wanted to align the Wildlife Protection Act with global standards. First thing is CITES compliance. The Act ensures India's compliance with the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wildlife, Fauna and Flora, which regulates the global trade in wildlife and plant specimen. There are so many smuggling and illegal trade that happens cross border. To regulate that, sites work. Okay, sites work on a cooperation basis. Second, it also wanted to streamline schedules. The previous 6 schedules have been reduced to 4, with improved protection for specially protected animals and the removal of the vermin species schedule. There were certain species which were declared vermin, and they were seen as a threat. Okay, a threat to maybe the economy or people, and then they can be declared vermin. So this schedule altogether has been deleted. Third is a management authority issue trade permits, while a scientific authority advises on the impact of trade on species survival. So reporting and identification requirements are also enforced. This has been also ensured in this. Now, strengthening wildlife protection. The Act empowers the central government to restrict or prohibit the import, trade, possession, or spread of invasive alien species which can pose a threat to native fauna and habitats. Why invasive species are so dangerous? Because there is no natural predator for that species, so it can grow like anything and can threaten other species. So that is why invasive species can destroy the flora and fauna. Second is sanctuary management. The chief wildlife warden's responsibility are expanded to include the supervision, handling, and maintenance of sanctuaries. Management plans must align with central government standards and be authorized by the chief warden. The third thing is the central government can now notify conservation reserves, broadening the extent of protection for flora, animals, and habitats. It talks about conservation reserves. Now, central government can also notify conservation reserves. It talks about voluntary surrender and increased penalty. So, the Act allows persons to voluntarily surrender caged animals or animal products to the chief wildlife warden, with the surrendered items becoming state property without any compensation. Second is stricter penalties. So penalties including fines and imprisonments have been increased to discourage offenders and ensure more effective enforcement of the Act. It also talks about empowering the local authorities. So Gram Sabha consultation is necessary. Like special regions require management plans after consultation with the Gram Sabha, ensuring local stakeholders' involvement in the decision making process. Also, it is strengthening decentralized oversight. The chief wildlife warden's expanded responsibilities in supervising, handling, and maintaining sanctuaries. Third, it wants to have a collaborative approach with community engagement. And the combating illegal trade has been ensured better because of enhanced penalties, which is stricter enforcement, and the act mandates the reporting of plant specimen transactions, making it harder for illegal trade to go undetected. So reporting requirements have also been strengthened. Second, identification markers. Now, tampering with identification markers is strictly forbidden, further deterring attempts to circumvent trade regulations. Now, promoting responsible ownership. Owners of live scheduled animals are required to obtain registration certificates, promoting responsible ownership and tracking of these species. Second thing, the reporting and identification requirement for specimen transaction enhanced transparency and accountability in the wildlife trade. Third is legal compliances. The Act comprehensive approach aims to ensure that all wildlife related activities in India adhere to the law, fostering a culture of environmental stewardship. So there is a holistic approach. It is aligning with global standards, it is strengthening domestic regulation, it is also promoting local engagement, and it has strengthened the teeth to combat illegal trade. So this was the lecture all about. I think this will help you. Take care. Best wishes.